Marvel's Avengers. It's going on roughly 20 days or so since the release of the much anticipated title. Some love it and some hate it. But with the recent patch 1.07, the game seems to have fixed a lot of those issues that were sort of meme-worthy. In this video, I'll attempt to either get you to buy the game or to stay very far away from this title. This is my pros and cons involving Marvel's Avengers game. Ayo guys, your favorite Kage, Enigma Kage, bringing yet another video. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Hope you stick around, watch a few of my videos, and hey, maybe you'll subscribe today. Before we begin, let's talk a little bit about the story. The game's main storyline takes place 5 years after A-Day, a celebratory day for the Avengers where a tragedy resulted in death and destruction, and the Avengers were pretty much blamed. For the beginning of the game, you're controlling Kamala Khan, aka Miss Marvel, and seeing the story pretty much from her point of view. As you continue throughout the story, the team is forced to reassemble to save the world from peril in the form of AIM, led by MODOK, which threatens to end the world of superpowered individuals. Let's start this thing off with the pros. The gameplay is presented from a third-person perspective and can be playable in both single-player and multiplayer. The game features an online mode, allowing players to assemble a team of heroes of their own. The initial playable characters right now are Captain America, Iron Man, Hulk, Thor, Black Widow, and Miss Marvel, with more becoming available to players post-launch as free updates, which also includes new regions to be explored. Each hero possesses a variety of costume customization features, as well as the capacity to upgrade their powers and abilities using a skill tree. I like that nice added touch because the way I set my Hulk up can be completely different from the way you set your Hulk skills up. The gameplay is pretty much straightforward, and most new players can adapt to the game rather quickly. However, there's enough mix-ups for advanced players to enjoy instead of just, mashing the lights and heavy attacks. The characters all have unique ways of blocking, dodging, and parrying the opponents, and I thought that was a really nice touch. Matchmaking is super easy, and you can end up playing with friends or randoms in a matter of minutes, and the connection is pretty sweet. You can end up doing the mission and having two groups split up and knocking out those side quests within the main quest. It's pretty sweet. And if you don't have enough players to play with, don't worry, there's bots that you can add to your team. Another awesome thing is the Avenger game offers a free next-gen upgrade with your cloud data saving. So you don't have to wait till next-gen to drop to start playing the Avengers game. You can jump on it today and carry everything over to the PS5 or the Xbox Series X. Crystal Dynamics has done an amazing job telling the story, and I believe fans of the Avengers would definitely appreciate the work they've put in. The story is rather short, but the goal is to prepare you for the multiplayer Avengers initiative, where you grind for legendary and exotic loot, take on weekly raids, etc. There are a few things that can be done post-game to keep you busy for a little while. As for the cons, the game launched with a boatload of problems. And even with the recent patch, you can still end up falling through the floor, and some people have even claimed that they're still getting caught in endless loading screens. The reason I didn't save this for like the last con is because I've never experienced any of these things, but I know they're very much real. I can at least see that Crystal Dynamics has been in communication with the community, so that's a great sign so far. The lack of villains in this game is a bit alarming. The game launches with 2 villains, and I'm not counting the final boss. I'm talking about the 2 villains that you had to fight over and over again for the weekly challenges. Those being the Abomination and Taskmaster. You mean to tell me, out of the entire Avengers franchise, the Abomination and Taskmaster are the first names to be pulled out of a hat? Like, come on, man. I know more will be joining the roster soon, but the way I see it, we could be looking at 1 new hero a month. Yikes. The lack of iconic Marvel locations. I mean, once again, these things can be added in at a later date, but for a $60 title with an all-star roster, you mean to tell me we couldn't get Asgard and Loki? I know this may be minor, but it's still an issue when trying to get newer players to buy in. Loki definitely should have been ahead of everyone on the list, especially over Taskmaster. A small issue I found, but it has a lot to do with the AI partners. Sometimes these guys can feel useless, but they're always there to revive you. That's a good thing. When you're first starting off, regenerating willpower, which is your health, may seem difficult depending on the character you're using at the moment, and it definitely can become really frustrating. I mean really fast. I hope they bump up the AI awareness because these things can become ridiculous in a matter of moments. P.S. Always pick the ball for your team. Other than that, I believe Marvel Avengers is a beautiful game, easy to adapt, the roster is cool for what it's worth. It's rumored to have 13 heroes joining soon, but the current content is a bit lacking to fulfill that journey. 13 characters in 13 months with just Taskmaster and Abomination? I don't know. However, my buddy Turbo Kage has hooked me up with a free Xbox One Marvel's Avengers. This is the code, and all you have to do is guess the last 4 digits, and it's yours. Make sure to stop by his channel and show him some love. And if you found this video a little bit helpful, make sure to drop a like for your boy and share this to a friend. As always, I'm Enigma, signing off. Peace, guys.